With this update, the end of the project is already in sight. Wait! Hold up! Okay, now it's better. Like I said last week, running a farm all by yourself can be exhausting. Now that the automation is fully working, I decided it was time to hire some help. I needed NPCs, but to make NPCs I first needed a way to tell them apart. Up until now, my character was just a simple solid mesh. I wanted to add shorts, overalls and hats. At first I tried just swapping the textures, but I hit a classic technical art wall. If I told Unity to make the shorts blue, it multiplied the entire material by blue, turning the character's bare legs into Smurfs. Normally, the way to fix this is by building a complex custom shader, basically writing visual code to tell the game exactly where the clothes end and the skin begins. But instead, I decided the game would have way more depth if I went back to Blender and created new 3D models for each clothing piece, instead of drawing them in 2D. A good quality 2D texture can take just as long or even longer than simply making small changes to a 3D model and adding details to the UV map. Wait! Now that you have seen my characters in better detail, I have to tell you that I want to add as many different outfits as possible. Drop me a suggestion in the comments and I will try to add as many of them as possible into the game. I will even post some short form content about it, so feel free to subscribe to see your ideas added to the game. Alright, back to the video. I built a full character editor scene where you can cycle through shirts, pants, hats and colors, saving your look to a JSON file. And to save me hours of UI work later, I coded a custom developer tool. It's a camera script that automatically takes a picture of a customized character and saves it as PNG directly into my project files to use for UI portraits. Now, I could actually design my farmlands, but I had a massive programming problem. My entire game, the inventory, the shop, the farming was hard-coded to work for exactly one player. If I added NPCs, they would either share the player's inventory or worse, completely break the game. I didn't want to rewrite the entire player system, so I used a trick I call the hidden clone. When you unlock the worker in the shop, the game creates an invisible, disabled object that holds an independent inventory, upgrade system and auto skill manager. When the actual 3D NPC spawns into the world, it just points all of its logic to that invisible ghost. There are still some leftovers from the old code. For example, right now the harvested produce physically jumps to the players instead of the worker that actually picked it up. But that can be fixed in the final cleanups. To get the NPCs to actually farm, I gave them exact same player interact script that you use when you press interact on your keyboard. I just disabled the script so it couldn't read keyboard inputs and let the NPC's brain trigger it via code instead. The farm plots literally cannot tell the difference between the player and the NPC. But of course, the NPCs needed to navigate the grid. And they were stupid. They would walk down a straight line, suddenly turn 180 degrees, take one step, turn around again, and get stuck forever. It turns out the player was leaving ghost reservations on tiles. Every time I walked, I was permanently locking the tiles behind me. And if two NPCs met in the hallway, they would just stare at each other until the end of time. I had to completely rewrite the automatic pathing. NPCs now follow the strict rule: forward, right, left. They will only walk backward if it's a true dead end. The farm is finally alive. But to give the game the actual roguelike feel, we need to add some gadgets and power-ups that the player can unlock to make the runs more interesting. Subscribe so you don't miss it. and I will see you in the next one.